Welcome to a crazy Thursday night edition of KitSZN. Hopefully, you're able to come relax with us amid the chaos that is the USLPA negotiations and just come chill and vibe with us here tonight with a special guest. Hopefully.
That's the greatest thing about KitSZN. Whether or not there's a game tomorrow or Saturday, who knows? But you know what there is? Kits.
It's always KitSZN,
The kits are out.
24/7. Yeah. And
Whether the
especially
players are out or not, we don't know. But the kits are out.
Yeah, and especially if you've been following our Instagram account, we have been quite active, if you didn't think otherwise, with kits and release left and right. And Union Omaha just released one moments before I hopped on here as well. So I haven't even gotten to that one at this point. But things are
glow in the dark. Just gotta say glow in the dark. Bam. They did it.
All over, and they leaned into it, which I'm happy about. But that's not why we are here. We're here to have a great conversation. And Frank here, anticipation tonight's interview, is wearing their doodle kit at the moment. So I'm so glad to hear that and happy that y'all actually, listening to what we say, and hopefully not spending too much as my wallet's destroyed. But I did want to thank our lovely patrons, John Hunt, Frank Anthony, Christopher Cohn, John Fuller, Michael Foots, Joshua Duder, Noah Telford, Alberto Aguilar, Jeremy Churchman, Stephen Howard, Orion Lacara, Tim Knopps, NFRH30, MOS, Kunal Patel, Olive the Hedgehog, Andrew Towsley. I'm going too fast for I think the thing got slower. I think the bottom ticker got slower. Anyways, Matt Cat Peel, Ryan Smetzler, Sandy Lester, William Land, Dylan Reed, Josh, Matt B, David Horn, Luke Loudon, Don Garber, not that Don Garber.
Not Don Garber.
Not that one. John's the Landlord, Doug Brooks, Matthew Schaff. Yeah, this thing has definitely gotten slower. Sharon Anderson, all of you are lovely supporters and patrons of our show and everything that we do here on KitSZN, as well as the main USL show. So yeah, we got some confirmation that we are financially ruining Frank here. Love to see that. You're not the only person. I know several. And then
you're welcome.
We even got Mia Oat here for supporting Salem City. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. So yeah, without further ado, Fox, are we ready to introduce our guest here tonight?
I'm excited. I've been waiting to have this conversation for a while because obviously first 5 of the season, all that good stuff. So I'm ready for a good time.
Let's dive into it. Welcome to the stage, Matt Barnhart of Salem City FC. Welcome to the show.
How's it going, guys?
Chilling.
Yeah, chilling whenever I'm not rampantly all over social media right now, but doing well tonight.
You're killing it.
I'm trying, man. I'm telling you, it's full kid season, but one of the ones that I keep going back to think about is this doodle kit, which we'll talk heavy about, and I've loved everything that y'all, Salem City has done from day one. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to very quickly let you introduce yourself, your role at the club, and how long you've been there, and all that quick little spiel out of the way.
Yeah. So I want to start off by apologizing to Frank for contributing to his financial ruin. I'm so sorry. But I'm Matt. I'm the creative mind behind Salem City, along with some members of my team. I've been with the club since before we were Salem City. We were actually part of, if you guys have ever heard of Carolina Dynamo, back in the 90s. So that lineage, we started as Carolina Dynamo. We became, we got bought out by Infusion for a little bit there. And then 2-3 years ago now, we were bought out by private ownership and became Salem City. And I got to have a hand in who we are visually, which has been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's kind of a dream. And so my background's in design. So I like doing art stuff. I like being creative. I like doing kits. It's a lot of fun, and seeing people love the kits has been one of the most exciting things that's ever happened to me. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's got to be the ultimate feeling. Just like, you put your art out there, you put your work out there, and you do it for you. You do it for the team. You hope for the best. But then when people grasp it, people feel it, people love it. That's got to be the pinnacle.
And you never expect it. It's always you want to be humble and say that it's not my best work, it's not my favorite, but it's cool seeing other people love it. So I'm having fun.
And as Frank says, it's definitely catching people's eyes, some of the work you've done. And this was before this year's editions. I liked what was done in the inaugural seasons with the Art Deco. I loved leaning into that a little bit. Don't need to talk about that here tonight. But Frank here recognizes they had two people come up and ask them about about the doodle kit that they're wearing today. And I think that is a testament to, I always love one of my favorite pairings, design and soccer kits, and coming together and telling either a story and just being different with it. And I think that is an epitome of what the doodle kit is, and we'll get more into that. But I think, as you kind of humbly kind of said, just credit to you and all the work that you and your team had kind of put into these 4 years or whatever, 3.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you said obviously you're with the Dynamo, the Dynamo Star. You said up here down to this point. How has it been being kind of part of that original part here for Salem City to be on that initial team to set up the whole brand? Because obviously these colors are a little bit more newer. They're a little bit not something you see often.
Yeah. So one of the big things we like to focus on from a design and visual language standpoint is we like to show our heritage. We like to tell a story with everything we're doing. So a great example of that is our logo, the Salem City Beast, which is actually a play on a chimera from Greek mythology. It's a combination of a ram, a lion, and a snake, which kind of represents us as a team and kind of the USL as a whole, being this combination of different cultural identities, different styles of play, all coming together to be this a beast of its own. And so everything we do, we're trying to kind of honor our history and honor culture. And that was a big part of forming this new club. Was we were going from a pretty corporate US style soccer system into the nature of soccer. We wanted the beautiful game. We wanted it to be. We wanted to be true to who we were and true to what the sport is, and bring people together. Everybody says it's not about the money, but we like to believe it's not about the money, and we just love. It's culture. It's all about culture, and that's who we are as a club.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I have a brother who lives out in Raleigh, so I pass through Winston-Salem, that area quite often on our drive from Indiana down to Raleigh. And one of the things that every time I go by Salem, I always hear there's a unique vibe to that city, to that area in general, outside of the triangle, just west of the triangle there. And it's definitely something that I'm always eager to learn more about, and I'm very happy to hear from at least your perspective and from the club's perspective that is something that they want to honor, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, right? It's the people you're representing. And can you tell me about those colors too? So the colors are that yellow,
like
blue,
the blue and the pinkish.
So it's actually our take on CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, which are the colors that printers use to make every other color. So it fits into kind of our melting pot combination. When we were talking about our identity, these are the colors that make up every other color. So that's what we went with. It's made a ton of sense. I have a background in printing, so I'm really comfortable with those colors. So it just ended up that's where we landed, and we love it so far. It's been awesome. It's pretty unique. It gives us a lot of flexibility on the directions our designs can go. It's just fun. It's so much fun to play with.
But yeah, I'd say having those basically 4 base colors to kind of just like, hey, let's have some fun with it, and just kind of, I don't know. I think from a creative standpoint, y'all set yourself up pretty well with being able to be creative every year and just kind of have that color palette to begin with, and you're not like locked in to like, oh hey, you're only gonna be red and white. You're only gonna be purple and white, or
yeah.
red, white, and blue. Yeah, like you have that variety, and that's something I've noticed over the 2 different kit sets and everything.
I'm so glad. Somebody noticed. It's awesome.
Yeah, because I remember the initial home kit, they had, it was like pink, green, yellow, blue on the white, and then you had like the Art Deco, the away kit, which was that like same to this similar to this heritage kit, but it was like that navy blue with that little bit of like a cream or white accent kind of thrown in, and I'm like, who else is playing with colors like this that variety outside of Ford Madison? Because they're doing their own thing.
They're killing it up there.
They are. There's one thing they can do is create some good kits. And
Madison Fashion Club.
Yes.
That's what the FC is.
Yes. So from your perspective, outside of the kits, obviously that's what we're here to talk about. But are there any other type of, so I know we've talked to several other people who do like to do design, marketing, some of the merch stuff. Is there anything else that really helps encapsulate kind of what you're trying, like the ethos, that creativity, that idea that you have for Salem City? Any other like cool stuff that you like to work on?
So you'll notice with a lot of what we do, we kind of go on decades. So the Art Deco kit, we were doing a lot of 1920s Art Deco, dancing, kind of just electric feel to everything we're doing. And history, it's a lot of people say history plays a big part in what they do. But I'm a bit of a history nerd, and so I love to dive into the history of the club. And so a perfect example is our home kit from last year. It's heavily based on the Reynolds building, which is here in Winston. It's actually the test run for the top of the Empire State Building. So they built the top half here in Winston and the bottom half in Ohio, I believe. And so I drew a lot of inspiration from diving into the history of the Reynolds building and by extension the Empire State Building, and learning about the time period and what was going on in Winston, and if this is a good time to represent visually in our kits. And I find myself just entering a different world and kind of getting lost in the design in a kind of Alice in Wonderland type moment.
Honestly, I don't blame you, because like I love when like little things kind of like send you down that rabbit hole, and like in this case, it probably also is from Indiana limestone in that building. So there's like connections everywhere that you tend to like. Like the crazy is always sunny in Philadelphia meme when you're trying to connect like the conspiracy theory. This goes to here, goes to here, goes to here. It's fun to piece that stuff together, and I'm glad to know there's someone who's very intentional about the history and wants to understand it and then translate it. I think that's the true skill, honestly, is being able to translate that into something that we can wear.
And I always feel like that's a true need for like almost every team, because so again, I'm a Kentucky boy and I'm a Louisville fan through and through, but like we have Louisville and Lexington here, and Lexington has been really tapping into, the Kentucky feel and stuff like that. And it's been so like honestly kind of jealous of that, because I'm like, look at this, like this is shouting more Kentucky than this team who's been here for so much longer. So obviously they have
over their kit reveal. I was drooling over their kit reveal. Actually, today was the first time I saw it with the race when they were projecting the race. Oh man, it was so so cool.
Like, it's beautiful. I'm like,
Beautiful.
man, come on, Louisville, man. Can I get a purple version of that? Or can I get something that's, because it's so nice to have somebody on your team that has that connection to the city, that has that connection to, what's going around and wants to do the research and has the artistic skill to portray that. So shout out to you for being able to do all that for your city.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things that we've always we used to have it. I think it was like a year. We used to have the main person on the USL show, Taylor Hodges, hop on, and he would do us a history with Hodges, and he would do some deep dive into like the cities and like for him specifically Birmingham, Alabama, where he's at. So he always gave us a fun little history lesson, and when you start to understand that history, what that design's supposed to represent from that history, and not just some template and you make up some marketing for it, but like actual design behind it, and then that history. Hey, that's fun to learn stuff because I love learning. So, especially places that I've never been to, and just being able to wear that part of that city, that region, that culture with you, I think makes kits different than other sport uniforms, in my opinion. And so I wanted to ask you, why soccer kits, and why is that something that is important? It seems to be important for you to nail down.
I think you kind of touched on it already there. It's they can be different than other kits. It's if you look at American football, the kits are for the most part the same. They've started getting a little crazy this season with some cool ones, but there's not a ton of creativity.
It's usually the colorway. It's still like the Miami one, the Dolphins one. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's the black with the teal and the orange. It's really cool, but it's just a colorway change.
Yeah, and I love colorways and mixing colors as much as the next guy. I think my kit shows that, but it's not as cool as being able to look at a blank outline of a kit and think, how do I put myself into this? How do I put my city into this? How do I represent the club properly? All of these things come together to create something beautiful. Hopefully, most of the time. But it's the goal. It's the perfect amalgamation of just everything going on in your job, everything going on in your life. You can pour it all in there, and it's an awesome medium. And then on top of that, you get people like Frank who are super excited to wear it, and like then you feel that it's beyond people looking at your art in a gallery. It's people becoming a part of who they are and the part of their style, and it's just so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I feel like going off what Brett was saying, I feel like when you put that heart and soul into something, and you put the art and you put the history behind it, and then you learn more about it and you want to buy it. I mean, we were talking about finances a little bit. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that, it sells. Mm-hmm. And then it puts your team on the map. Like, who's heard of Salem City before? Obviously, I mean, I've only been, Salem for 2 years. But but like, same thing with like Madison, Wisconsin. Like, there aren't people in England who know where Madison, Wisconsin is, but they've seen a Forward Madison drip kit. So like, they know that team. So like, I feel like especially the Doodle kit specifically this year, that could be like that next one that like people are like, wearing that across the pond and everywhere. And like, what is that? Who's that? Like, oh yeah, that's Salem. That's in the Carolinas. Where? America. Oh, America. Okay.
and to your point, when I first started getting into the game, I picked what I liked based on kits. I became a Juventus fan because I like the black and white stripes. I'm actually wearing one of my favorite kits ever, which is the Nashville Man in Black kit. And I could care less about Nashville soccer until I saw this kit, and now I'm following it. And they're bringing Giannis on. They're doing all these cool things, and I'm a fan because I like their kit. And so, yeah, you're right. That's what it is. It becomes bigger. It's cool.
I get that 100% because I follow Ipswich around because me and my wife are big like Ed Sheeran fans. Yeah. So then when like he invested into the team, got the sponsorship across, I'm like, well, I have to get the tour shirt, Yeah. So I have an Ipswich shirt, and I've been following the team. Looks like we're actually going to get out of the championship, possibly.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I get that 1,000%.
I will say I definitely remember that we will show off our kits that we're wearing tonight. Is this kit season? We love to show them off here on the show, so we'll dive a little bit more
Yeah.
into all of the ones we're rocking here tonight. But that's kind of one of my favorite parts, like you kind of alluded to. Like,
Mhm.
it is a great way to not just make fans, but there's a weirdly large kind of niche community of people who really like this stuff. And being able to hear from the creatives behind the madness, I always say the creative geniuses behind the madness, is always something that I know I like to hear more about, and I know other people like to hear about because I'm wearing your stuff all the time. Now I want to hear, why did that line look that way specifically, or like, why do y'all care so much about making this effort? Because I obviously care, but like, being able to hear that top down is almost gratifying and assuring of what we're collecting isn't just something that's thrown in my closet. It's like a living, breathing art, you know?
Yeah.
And on the opposite side of that, I'm so excited to be able to explain the kits to you
Yeah.
and point some these kits in particular. The Doodle kit has so many Easter eggs, so many little things that by looking at it, you might notice over never in your life, or you might notice it quickly. Or there's some cool stuff we have in there that I'm looking forward to sharing and dropping some knowledge.
Love it.
Please,
So
I was looking at the mood board you sent us, and I'm like, how does that picture into this? Please, I gotta know.
well, I guess let's build slowly though. So
Yeah.
you want to jump into the heritage kit?
Yes, and I even have a slideshow set up here as well. So obviously, we know kind of the heritage kit was compared to the doodle kit was a little bit more subtle, a little bit more of a, hey, you can be loud and proud with the doodle, but you can be a little bit more reassuring, quiet over here with the heritage kit. Was that kind of the idea behind the two very different styles of kits?
Absolutely. So our philosophy design-wise was one showstopper and one classy kit. The showstopper, like Frank mentioned, you want people to notice and ask you about. That's how we grow the knowledge of the club. We want people to stop each other at the bar and be like, "Yo, where'd you get that kit? That's awesome. That's weird. I don't like that. I do like that." Just at least start a conversation.
It's going to be opinions.
Agreed. Yes, that's what we're going for. Not everybody's gonna love it. Not everybody's gonna, but at least it starts a conversation. And then the classy kit is more for the people that they're not looking for something bold. We wanted something that told a story, but was not like, "Hey, listen to my story." Like just a little bit more reserved and has just kind of an everyday wear, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Or could you say it could fit with a pair of jeans?
Go well with their jeans.
So about the heritage kit, obviously, honestly, I'm gonna start. I almost want to signify kits now instead of primary and secondary home in a way of being the fun, the showstopper, and then the subtle, classy one. I love that variation better than primary, secondary because it sounds way more fun, and I think it allows teams to be more creative if they think of it that way. In my mind, if you think of it, hey, this is gonna be, hey, this is our home, this is our way, this is whatever we feel like that day, showstopper or subtle. I think that just a creative, unique way to think about that, and I really do like that. So yeah, I know that was not a question, just more of a general comment. I kind of did those in my head. But with this heritage kit, what is the story that you're trying to tell with this one? So I see some plants, some agriculture, and then some like leaf-like patterns, in that little thing in the middle. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So with our it all started with our home kit last year. We tell the story of Salem, The latter half of Winston-Salem, which was a Moravian town. We used the Moravian pattern. We're paying homage to that. This kit is an homage to Winston. Winston was the home of RJR Tobacco. You name any cigarette brand, it was probably RJR. And so what the goal here was to pay homage to that without saying like, hey, go smoke a cigarette, or like we're really into tobacco, and so how do we do that in a tactful way that doesn't necessarily scream tobacco, but still has that, we're still telling that story. And so we landed on this pattern here, which is a combination. Well, it started as tobacco leaves, and as it developed, it started to dawn on me that it looks like rows of crops. And so we started with this tobacco leaf pattern, ended up with rows of crops. I brought it to the rest of the team, like, hey guys, this is a little weird. It's kind of, I know you guys aren't crazy about us promoting tobacco, but we don't have to tell anybody besides the guys on KitSZN. And then we ended up with this pattern. We got people liking it. It's simple yet classy. You'll notice on the full version of the kit, there's a little leaf patch down on the bottom right of the kit, which is kind of that we're saying this is about agriculture less than this is about tobacco. We also have a huge wine industry here in the area, so we're kind of paying homage to that with the rose. So it's really about agriculture with kind of the subtext of we were built on tobacco.
Oh yeah, it's the one thing that I do know quite a bit about the area is there's another USL League 2 team, Tobacco Road FC, or just Tobacco Road. So being able to lean into that in a way that you said is a little bit more subtle than being like, hey, here's tobacco, I think is definitely a fun way to go about it. And as you said, a little bit more of a classy way to go about it.
Yeah. And it's still your history. Like, you can't just sit there and like ignore it. Like, you're proud of your city. You're proud of what y'all have built. It's the same thing in Kentucky. Like, I was in, elementary school going to field trip to tobacco farms. So like, but like they were never like, here, smoke tobacco. It was always like you see the plants hanging and stuff like that. And they would talk about why they grow it, how it's made so much money for the states and taxes and stuff like that. So it's the agriculture behind it. So like, yeah, I love how you did this where it's not sitting there going, it's not like you're sponsored by Marlboro. It's sitting there. It's just plants. It's just this is where we came from.
Yeah. And I appreciated on your initial review that it could also read as flowers. It has that floral feel. It has that, which kind of made me feel good that I made the right decision. And okay, people aren't immediately jumping to conclusions about this. So that was reassuring to hear.
Yeah, no, and I feel bad because I was unable to get on that review day because of being a father. But yeah, this definitely always gives me like lily feeling.
Yeah.
So I could definitely like you can interpret it however you want, which is I feel like a skill that an artist should have. So.
Exactly. And one of the things that Fox and I always kind of talk about here on the show, flowers don't just have to be on women's kits or floral patterns. And when we saw this, yes, I kind of knew it was a tobacco with the history of the area a little bit, but I'm like, why can't men wear floral patterns on their kits? And like, just, why can't they? Just like, it looks good. What's stopping them? And so seeing that kind of reassured me myself that someone else at least out there is thinking something similar along those veins.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed, yes.
But doing it subtly too, I feel like kind of leans into it. Like, it allows other alphas to
wear something,
to wear it and fill it and stuff like that. Because this is like you said, it's the classy kit. It's the subtle version. It's the nice one. It got the beautiful collar. I always love navy. Navy goes with everything.
Yeah.
So,
which I see here on your color selections, you kind of had navy with everything. Yeah. Why did you ultimately choose I'm going to call it a cream color,
Yeah.
white cream.
So we went with the silvery gray color, or the cream for. Yeah, it was. We had a lot of back and forth about this. It was a bloodbath in the boardroom, if you'd say. But the initially we loved the bronze color. We loved the bronze on there. We were going for a classy kit.
Yeah.
I in my head had Jordan kits. Frequently think PSG.
Yeah.
They have this feel to them that's like classy navy and gold or navy and silver, and so that was the initial idea. So the first version of this kit was that bronze color. We are in Winston-Salem, home of the Demon Deacons, Wake Forest. It was too close. It was, we want, a lot of our players are from Wake. We want to respect them. We don't want to step on any toes. We just decided we're going to move away from that. Other colors wise, we had this kit was the evolution of our original away kit. We went with the lines, the navy. We wanted it to feel as part of a continuity of kits. But we wanted it to feel different enough that you don't get it confused in your closet. This is the original one. This was the next one. And so that kind of steered us away from that blue. It would have worked, but it just wasn't. It didn't feel right. It wasn't different enough. And so it really came down to the pink and the silver. And with the pink, there was questions of Miami. Are we riding the coattails of Miami? I don't necessarily agree, but I understand where they're coming from. So we landed on the silver, and I'm happy with the silver. I think it keeps that classiness that the bronze had, and it is. I enjoy it.
I would definitely say I think the silver. I like seeing silver used, particularly in accents, because it's almost like the kit I'm wearing here. If it's white on like gray or silver, it's a little hard to sometimes see it. But when it's paired with the navy, particularly a sharp navy blue, I love navy blue. It's such a usable palette for like accent colors. I think that combination works brilliantly. Because I think the blue on blue reminds me of Chattanooga FC. They kind of don the blue on blue. The gold, that kind of, it doesn't fit. It doesn't feel Winston-Salem. The yellow maybe could have, but that's just me because of the colors there. And I think the pink would have been almost
too much.
Too in your eyes. Yeah, it goes against that subtle, classy feel that I think we're going for. And I think the silver is a brilliant pairing with that. And I think it does the effect and helps with all the overall subtlety of the design. And I think that was a smart decision there. And I'm glad you walked us through that, because I like to see all the other different color combinations to kind of go, what if?
Yeah, what were the options? Yeah.
It was a fun what if situation.
Because I really do like the blue, how much it pops off the blue, but I completely agree. Like what the thought process is, like, you know what, that does kind of look like last year's. You don't want to sit there and say like, wait, was this last year? Building? Okay, that was last year. Okay, flowers. That's one. So yeah, I get that. I get that mindset. So I would have went with the gold or the silver, but also like Miami's not the only pink team.
Yeah.
Just because we have pink doesn't mean it's Miami. Chill.
Yeah. Ford Madison's doing it just fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for a lot longer.
Yeah. I will say though, I always like more pink. I always like a little bit more pink. I wouldn't been against it. I like seeing more pink, and we'll see that a little bit more on the doodle kit, which is I think where the pink really shines here is on the doodle kit, which we will just kind of move over into the next slide here. And tell me, what is this design board?
Welcome to the Mind of Madness. This was the sketch idea board. I'm insane, and I throw everything into a pile, and I just kind of look at it and pick and choose what I want to pull out. And this is a lot of what makes Winston Winston. So we can kind of go through it little by little here. That building at the top left is the Sawtooth Center. It's one of the big arts center here in the city. One of our new nicknames as a city, or not, new in comparison to the age of the city. It's the City of the Arts and Innovation. So we have the School of the Arts. This Sawtooth Center teaches arts to people, teaches classes at an affordable rate so that you can go in and, you could go learn pottery if you've never done it before. Everything from pottery to some of the more niche stuff like etching. Frank's beautiful mind meme is, yes, very accurate. So yeah, that kind of is part of the, the kit as a whole is about arts and innovation, but the Sawtooth is a little more of an homage to that. We're also the home of Krispy Kreme donuts, which is incredibly dangerous. Yes, it is incredibly dangerous. There's a Krispy Kreme on every corner around here.
I remember that.
I saw that like in the kit. I was like, that's Krispy Kreme logo, right? Like, but I was like, those are everywhere. Come on, it must be like a small town thing. But no, you're the home. That's awesome.
We are the home. And also in here, some dogwood flowers. We were talking about incorporating flowers. We did it on this kit. As well as some local landmarks. We got the Shell Station, which is just a funky gas station. It's in the shape of a shell. It's super cool. We have the tea kettle. That I wish I could tell you more about the history, but it's just kind of an iconic spot in the city. Tobacco Leafs Incorporated. Frank kind of spoiled it for us a little earlier. The Camels are for Camel cigarettes. One of Winston's other names is the Camel City. Then we have the thimble down there, kind of representing the textile history, kind of as the triad as a whole. It's not specific to Winston, but we have a lot of Hanes brands. You've probably worn their underwear or undershirts or something.
At this moment, that's a brand.
At some point, yeah. those maybe not now, but at some point would have come from Winston-Salem. Hanes is based out of here. Then, of course, Texas Pete is also based out of Winston. So we're paying homage a little bit there. And then we have the RJR smokestacks, which are an iconic part of our skyline. And also part of the kind of renewal part of the city where they're working on building parks, and it's the innovation quarter now, so they forced a bunch of money in that part of the city and really developed it into a place where you go hang out, you bring your dogs, you have some coffee, you go get ice cream. It's an amazing part of the city, and wanted to pay some homage there. And then the Model T, just because they're cool, and it kind of throws back to our roaring 20s, early 1900s kind of feeling of some of the last kits.
Yeah. I love walking me through this. I just looked up Winston-Salem, and there are those smokestacks right there. Part of Winston-Salem.
Mm-hmm. And so this is looking at Bailey Park.
Okay.
It's this is that cool area I was talking about. If you were to kind of fly over those buildings, there's a big brewery area. Which our beer culture is immaculate here in Winston. Yeah, Frank, that's what we're trying to do, man. That's what we're trying to do. And yeah, so that's Bailey Park. That's a super fun part of town.
Yeah. See, the only thing I knew about Winston-Salem from my very brief trips through was that one building that you did the Art Deco for, the tall one in the background. I see that it's impossible to miss driving past it on the way to Raleigh. Very noticeable. Mm-hmm. I love to learn a little bit more about this, and I might need to stop by next time I'm on the way.
You should. Let us know. We'll give you the whole tour.
Especially if the breweries are.
Yes, we have.
I'm a little snobby because I'm in St. Louis now, so.
You run for your money.
Nice.
So obviously you put a lot of details, a lot of scattered brain into this doodle kit, and I think that epitomizes what the doodle, besides being just arts and creative, I think it's just a conglomeration of ideas of the city, of the culture, of like just doodles. And I think that's just fun, and it's cartoony, but it's also deliberate. Like it's fun, but there's deliberate in every little spot, and we can kind of see that here when we look at kind of your. I will show the full montage here in a second, but where we kind of go from your initial sketches, the triangle. I don't know that at the little nod to the triad area with the triangle, and then also you see the smokestacks. You see it, every little piece that you kind of mentioned, kind of thrown in there, and so kind of
soccer ball.
Yep, gotta have a soccer ball somewhere in there, or it's not a soccer kit, right?
Yeah. So one of the big things we wanted to do here, or at least for me, I grew up playing the highlights search and finds and playing I Spy books, and what I wanted to do was, in my head, I pictured someone sitting with their back to you at the bar, and you're looking at their outfit, and you sit there for 5 minutes. And you're like, oh, there's a donut. There's a donut. So there's little Easter eggs in here. Like there's a dozen donuts hidden in the kit for the Krispy Kreme donuts. There's some hops for that beer culture I was referencing.
I saw that.
I see the hops.
Yeah, and I wanted it to be something you sit and look at, and just you explore, and you find new things, and you just fall more and more in love with it the more you look at it.
And another thing that I appreciate with it too, it's like it's not only just like a shout out to the city, but it's also a shout out to like soccer culture as well, because it got the smoke pop in, got the hand holding the smoke pop and everything like that. So like, it's combining those two obviously loves of yours, I could tell.
Yeah. And so one of the big things we did as a club was we were able to finally move within the city limits this year. And so one of the messages of this kit was, hey, Winston-Salem, we love you. We're here. We hope you love us. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is love us. Take us in. We want to perform for you. And
somebody clip that. He needs to put that on this. Put that on the team thing.
Yes, that's commercial on all.
I'm buying season tickets now, right? It's gonna be a long commute, but I'm going.
We'd appreciate it. We'll get you a box.
Cardboard box, love it.
Yeah, and so some of the stuff we didn't mention that was on those sketches were the soccer culture or the football culture things, the smoke pop, the rally flag, the ball. In here, there's a new rendition of our beast that's a little bit more cartoony. Things. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I'm missing, but yeah, I don't want to give it all away, but
no.
Yeah.
See, at this point, now what I do is get me a hold of one of these so I can like stare through. Or in the meantime, I'm gonna bug Frank and be like, Frank, find all the things that you can find into this and tell me if you can find the 12 donuts, because I've only seen like 3, and I'm just quickly looking, and I did do exactly what you want me to do, which is play I Spy on it, basically. Well, also kind of looking good too. That's just fun. It's one of those things. Yes, we talk about on here on the show Vegas with the upside down kid with a little like goofy smiley face. You add a little bit of a gimmick to it, but just like add that little extra fun gimmick. Yeah, and as Frank tells, it's already off during this video to look at the back. So they're already on it. They're diving in, and it adds to it. And like, I think from a collector perspective, this is me. There's quite a bit of us out there, but for me, whenever you're able to add more value into the kit, either by the design, how you like wearing it, or just a fun little gimmick like this, where you have all those Easter eggs just shoved in there and that attention to detail, it elevates that value. And let's say, I can't remember the price, it's like 80 bucks. Yeah, 90 bucks. It's definitely worth more now because of that extra Easter eggs and the effort put into it. And then that makes it worth it for me as a collector. And I love that attention to detail.
Thank you. That was the goal.
Yeah.
Like, and Hummel makes like good quality kits. So like, I don't mind spending 90 bucks on a Hummel kit, but like this makes that 90 bucks worth the 90 bucks because you get the art with it.
Exactly.
You can hang that up.
Yeah, that was as an artist, that's all you can hope for. It's funny seeing someone wearing your art and getting it muddy, or getting it and you're like, oh man.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be getting like blood on this.
Wall. But it's like I said earlier, it's about the life in it, and it's you could do either one, and I'd be happy either way.
Hey, as long as they appreciate it, I think that's really the crux of it all.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
Have
here's
you
kind
heard
of
from
you.
players?
Yeah.
Have the players giving you a review of this or anything?
So yes, the players we were still in season during the early stages of this.
Okay.
Before we would say it's in the blue stage, before we introduced the pink and kind of rounded out the colors a little bit.
Yeah.
So basically what we were looking at the last slide, the color the players did take a look at, those guys are all really cool. So they were kind of, I'd wear that. Yeah, it's cool. All right.
Very coy about it, but like,
yes, very coy. And there were a couple players that they were like, yes, I want it. I don't care. Sign me right now. Yeah, of course there's a couple of those guys, but for the most part, they all played it cool. One of the guy that modeled our kit this year is a player that's returning, Guy Fontes. He loved it. He's probably the quietest guy on the team, so he's not the looking for praise. So he had a quiet like of it, I would say.
Awesome.
I always appreciate the quiet. I always say if you can get the because my wife's extremely introverted. If you can get them to say something, you've done it. You've done well. I think if you're able to get the quieter people to chip in, because it takes a little bit more effort for them to try to speak.
Agreed.
But yeah, so I see through this animation here, this kind of evolution of the sketch, and you kind of see everything in the colors added in. You kind of see some of the rough, the sketches removed and a little bit, and then it like solidified with the three different colors really outside of the white. You have the pink, the navy blue, and then the cyan kind of thrown in. And so obviously those two of them are part of your the Cubs colors, the cyan and the magenta. And then what was the idea behind the navy blue? Something to attach with from the other kit and kind of like connect the two, or did it just kind of go well with the overall color?
So the navy blue has been as Bob Ross would say, a happy accident that we've discovered ever since establishing the club's colors. It goes with pink just as well as it goes with blue, just as well as it goes with yellow. It's good. Thanks, Mom.
Love it.
Yeah, it was one of those things we just I wish I could say it was intentional and it was this big brained idea, but I stumbled upon it one day and was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this. It also softens the doodles a little bit more than black would. Okay. So black is black. It's stark. It's the absence of color. It is what it is. With blue, you have a little bit of nuance. So like blue paired with the pink kind of reads as purple, or navy paired with the blue really brings out that blue. And so it gives it a depth that black wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So
black would definitely make everything physically pop a
Correct.
lot more and a lot, and this is already a very pop shirt. So you don't want to over pop. Is that a word? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Also, quick question about the donuts. I'm trying to count. Do the movie reels count as the donuts too?
No. The reels are not donuts.
No. I was just seeing if that was a trick.
Hey, I just will have to. I see like 4 right here, but I just spent a while doing this. My aging.
Right, I know I'm listening still. But since you told me that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to say, like, as a teacher, now I wasn't in elementary school, but like as a teacher, I just like appreciate the lined paper
Mhm.
and with the doodles on it and stuff like that. Like that just, I know it's supposed to be like the opposite of what teachers want, but like if I see my kids doodling and they're still listening, and if I can ask them a question, I let them doodle. When they're 6 years old, I teach first grade, so like, I went through creative. I don't want to shut down the creativism. I can't say it at 6 years old. Like I don't want to be that teacher.
Yeah.
So, as long as they're still like paying attention, I don't care. And like this, it just makes me happy. Like it's bringing them joy. It brings me joy. This brings me joy.
Man, I wish you were my teacher.
No, I know. Yeah.
Who I was.
I was also why I'm going to be a PE teacher next year. So maybe I'm not the best first grade teacher. Who knows?
I didn't think anybody would notice the ruled paper look. That was a secret I was keeping to myself, but there it is. So yeah, we haven't taken a look at the stripes on it yet, but when the stripes are on it, it was a consideration. There's a couple reasons we went with stripes. So yeah, there it is with the stripes, and a big part of the stripes was initially Winston's a baseball town. We only have baseball teams, and so the idea was to play off of that a little bit. We have a hockey team as well, more recently, but historically we've had the Dash, the Warthogs. Wake baseball is pretty big, and so that's what we were. And so the idea was to kind of pay homage to the baseball culture as a part of an introduction to, hey, Winston, we're here. That was part of the idea, and as that developed, it dawned on me. I was like, this looks like ruled paper. This is bringing me back to math class. And it's
Pythagoras. What are you talking about? This is math. Why do we multiply A's and B's?
Yeah, I just want to draw donuts. And so on this slide, similar to the Heritage Kit, we went through lots of color variation here.
More on this.
I kind of want like one of all 5 of those. Like I want like the collector set. Yeah,
it would be pretty cool.
Like that would be perfect. Like just hung up on the wall. Bam, all 5.
Man, I have an idea. I got to talk to Hummel. Let's see if they can.
Right. Just like, can I just get like one of each?
Yes, please.
I know printing is super easy.
Yeah.
I will say I do like the gold. So one of the things that we've seen on the Unmovable Cities, they released a white with gold on their kits.
Yeah.
This one does gold more prominent, and I think it has a better effect to it. I always say if you have white and gold, not that the doodle kit went with it, but this color, one of the options looking at is if you are going to use a gold, you got to lean into the gold, right? More prominently. Yeah. And you can kind of see that here with it because you can see the gold a little bit further out and it's not too subtle. Where obviously white and gold isn't 100% Salem's colors. And I think leaning in with the pink, the magenta and the cyan, I think was really good. So then it makes everything really pop outside of the navy you already kind of alluded to with that smoothness of it, but also on that white canvas, they really kind of present themselves in my mind.
Agreed. And that was a consideration with the gold, was, to come into the new city, the classiness, the like, do we go for gold? Are we coming in hot with gold? As the brand guy, it tore me apart because I thought, oh man, the gold is so pretty. You could argue that if you could mix the gold with our colors, it's within our branding. But it also it wasn't right. It wasn't the right fit. It didn't bring everybody the joy that the pink and blue did.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, I'm so happy we went the direction we did. I think that it's more who we are. I think the gold was just, I was in my own head for a little bit. And the UFO show, there's right. It is Wake Forest black and gold. That was also.
Yeah.
I will say just real quick, I have a weird niche knowledge of like all the universities. I don't
Uh-huh.
have no idea how to use that information,
Right.
but I know all that information in my head. So just
Mhm.
wanted to mention I know like most cities.
And Frank is right. There's Winston-Salem University, which is the Rams. They are
Oh,
red and black. Um, yeah.
And see, like in a couple of years, you can probably lean into that whole like Wake Forest gold.
Yeah.
Teams do it all the time. Lexington just did that last year with the icicle
Mhm.
kit.
they
So like
did with the
that's
blue.
clearly a Kentucky kit. You know what I mean? Like University of Kentucky. So wait 2 years and then boom,
Yeah.
make a
Establish
reference
ourselves
kit.
as- Yeah, agreed. We want to establish our own identity before we start playing with other people's.
Yeah, then it's a fun third kit. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or you can have like a college night and then
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
boom.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
and just call it the Demon Deacon kit or something like
Yeah.
that, and just like have fun with it.
That would be super cool. That would be awesome.
You're welcome.
Yes, we'll give you credit.
Yeah.
Your name along the bottom cuff.
Yeah, the bottom.
I'd be okay with that.
So obviously, a lot of these places like Salem City with this doodle kit and kind of thing are places that people aren't fully aware of outside of a sporting context, as there isn't any professional sports in city, which is weird for the size of Winston-Salem, the area. That professional, or in this case, more semi-pro amateur teams aren't
Mhm.
more there. So I think being able to kind of, I always think it's always important to lean into what is the city itself, which is what you've done here with the Doodle Kit, and then also trying to work with what everyone does know it about, which in this case, the Demon Deacons.
Mhm.
Regardless of how good or bad they are at their sports, people
Mhm.
know Wake Forest University, and their
Mhm.
baseball is usually pretty solid as well. So I think that is definitely always something I like to see, particularly from because like Lexington, no one knows anything except most
Kentucky
people know for
basketball
Kentucky, the University of Kentucky,
or
or
horses.
yeah, and Salem when obviously Wake Forest, and I think being able to lay that groundwork for something to be done in the future, I think is something that you've done as a brand to help try to build towards something that is basically what I'm saying is this isn't a short term like, hey, let's build some cool stuff, like a cool kit and a classic kit. This is like we're building a solid foundation to then let us do something even better going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we're doing. Funny enough, we have somewhat new information, but we're committed to going USL 1. We're going to make it happen. And you guys might be some of the first people to know, but we're committed to doing that. We're taking the steps to make it happen. That's what we were trying to do here. This is the foundation. This is the baseline of how cool it's going to be. This is the baseline of who we are as a club. It's only getting better from here. It's only going to be cooler. We're only going to draw more attention to the city. We're only going to do more from here. And so that's what these kits are. Hey, we're coming out strong, and we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Love that. And honestly, sorry to interrupt, Brett. I feel like we can always tell the two teams that are trying to go up to USL 1. And I feel like it's because they are trying with their kits. Like any USL 2 team that is trying with their kits, I feel like ownership is wanting to move up, to move into League 1. And so that makes me so happy to hear that from you all, though, because I could definitely see you all rocking League 1.
Also, Winston-Salem's a large enough city that I think, regardless of professional status or not, there's enough people who will get behind their sports. Like I always say, any area that has a university with that fills 40 to 60,000 seater for a football team, or like a 20,000 seater for a basketball team, can surely have any sort of capacity for a semi-pro or professional sports team that can pull in at max 10,000 people if you want to be very small on that, minimum 10,000 people or whatever in between. Who knows the heights, but like everywhere should have that. And knowing some of that intention, as Fox alluded to, you can kind of see in the kit game. You see those who really want to build something that isn't just, hey, we're here, we're going to do our basic Adidas, Puma, whatever academy templates. Like we'll get that check. This is, hey, we're here for the community first and foremost. What goes from there, it's all fun and games from there, but like it's first and foremost for the community, and this attention to detail in the kits are usually our first indicator of the club's intentions.
Mm-hmm. So. Agreed.
Yeah. we tend to get really deep into kits. A lot of people, like we've had people, I don't know if you've been asked this before. I'm gonna just go ahead and put this to the final product. I don't know if you've been asked this before, but people sometimes say, why are kits so important?
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the things that we've obviously alluded to in on this podcast have kind of really answered that question. But I don't know if you've ever had to encounter people be like, hey, why a soccer team? Why so much effort into your kits? And like, why are you making a doodle and throwing some tobacco leaves that look really good onto a kit?
That's tough. I think it's a combination of everything we talked about tonight.
Yeah.
You know, it's about, I think back to kits I remember growing up and like associating teams with kits. You know, in the NFL or the MLB, kind of the MLB or basketball, you associate colors with teams.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, you associate the kits. You know, stripes mean Crystal Palace. This clean white kit is probably Tottenham. It's just you associate the kits are such a big part of the club's identity, and on top of that, the fan identity. I mean, if you're a United fan and you see a guy in a red jersey, and if you're hoping it's not Arsenal, but you might walk up to him and you're either gonna have a fist fight or you're gonna share a beer. It's you get excited. Like I get excited when I see a black and white striped kit because I know there's another Juve fan, and we can talk and we can have a good time. I mean, that is it's the same in all sports, but it's just different. It's different in football or soccer.
Yeah,
it's the kits are who you are. They are the team, and to an extent, the sponsors are kind of a representation of that as well, and support. And I, for whatever reason, every time I think of Samsung, I think of Chelsea. It's you don't have those associations with other sports.
No. I cannot see a Chevrolet logo without going United.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or for me, it's Nintendo and Fiorentina.
Yes.
Every time I see the Nintendo, I'm like, oh, that's Fiorentina right there. Bam.
Yeah, and so it just what's amazing is it's both, it's the art, it's the soul, it's everything about the club is represented in the kits, and it's only that's been the case more and more in the last 10 years with sublimation printing and the level of customization you can get to. You can really show who you are, and you can really show who your fans are. And so for some people, their kit is a big part of who they are, or their a love of the team is a big part of who they are, and it's all represented in a shirt essentially, and it's just super cool. I get stoked.
Yeah, it's basically long answer. It's really great, all this, but also really a short answer. It's really cool looking, and that's the two answers to it, right? To that question. So I did wanted to get just real briefly. I appreciate walking through all this. That's all I have for the slideshow. I wanted to know, you kind of hint at just a little bit. So we've been doing KitSZN for 5 years, and we've kind of seen a growth in the USL in terms of their commitment to kit games and their kind of the growth of kits. Obviously, we've done this for 5 years. We kind of seen the little slow progression as they've done. What are your thoughts on some of the current trends and also kind of the overall, since you've been at Salem City, like what have you seen from across the league?
All right, the MLS assassins might get me, but I think being in the USL system and experiencing everything, I've realized the MLS is boring. The kits are boring. It's cool having some of the players, the Messi's, but it's not new. It's not fresh. You're not seeing exciting things. You're not seeing city rivalries. Like Frank said, he's excited about Greenville, Winston-Salem rivalry. Like, you're not seeing that in the MLS. You're dividing people by states, and I find that too broad of a group. Your city is a big part of who you are. Like, I'm born and raised Winston-Salem. It's part of who I am, and it's even more so now that I'm working for a club that it's about. And yes, Frank's right. Too professional. At the end of the day, we're playing games. It's supposed to be fun. It's having a good time. It's enjoying stuff with your friends. It's not this corporate thing that the soccer in the US has become. Is just corporate. You're paying thousands of dollars to play as a kid. This is everything that we're against as a club.
When Zlatan is saying that youth sports are too expensive, there's an issue.
It's a problem, and I think the trend is moving away from that, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it, and starting to see these free programs popping up, and starting to see promotion, relegation, and the opportunity for that at home is insane. I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
and I think there's this momentum that I just can't help but get swept up by, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Like in your head now, like Salem could be a tier 1 team,
correct,
in the pyramid, and 4 seasons or whatever. Like that's amazing stuff. Like, I'm excited for what the USL is trying to do. I need them to fix some other stuff, but I completely agree with. Now, like, I know there's this kind of push lately for more classic traditional kits and stuff like that, and I like the looks of those. But like you were saying, we're able to be creative these days. Like, we're not Arsenal, who's been around for 200 years and wear red because that was the only shirt that all 11 guys had that day. Like, clean. Like, we have options there. Like, we're a new world. Like, even the MLS is still a baby league. Like, there's no reason why they're pigeonholed on being professional or classic. Like,
so I definitely think there is a subtlety, difference between USL and MLS for their classy or professional kits, where I've noticed with a lot of the USL kits, at least some of the ones that have come out here recently, there's a bit more detailing underneath. And MLS kits is usually all black, and maybe just a little bit of a little bit of a print in the bottom, and cool, it's a little detail, whatever. But as you see with this doodle kit or with the heritage kit specifically, you have almost a subtle underneath pattern that adds some depth and layering to their kit. So then it makes them, they're classy, they're simple design wise, but there also is more to it than what you see initially. And it's that type of detailing which I think separates professional and classy. And I think there's a fine line there.
Yeah. And I am reminded of a professor in college. I really struggled with being simple. You'd be able to tell from the doodle kit, but I really struggled with simplicity. And he told me one time, how can you make something boring interesting? And so that's a lot of what the heritage kit is how can we take a really simple kit and to elevate it to the point where you might take more than a couple seconds looking at it. And it's for a lot of things it's as simple as that. Is you just need to elevate it a couple points higher than where it is, and then you've got it to the place where it is classy, it's simple, but it's exciting, it's unique. And I think it's appearing more and more, and we're starting to see it all over the place. And especially the championship kits, USL championship kits, I noticed a lot of wait, this is a boring. Oh no, it's not. It's not that boring. It's back there. Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay, all right. Where it's that moment where you go on a journey looking at it, which I think all art needs to do one way or another. I think a big difference between where kits were 20 years ago and where kits are now. Kits are 100% art now. People are collecting them. People are paying big dollars for kits. 20 years ago, it was just a red collared shirt or a red V-neck, or it's just simple. It wasn't art. It was utility. It was what's useful to me.
Yeah. And the MLS, it was art 20 years ago. Like I feel like we always talk about the 90s MLS kits, and like that's what the MLS is trying to constantly pick at every year with their classic kits. But like they were not held back. There was Nike kits, there was Adidas kits, there was all the different brands, and they were all working really hard to grab American fans, and now they stopped trying.
Well, I don't need to as much in their eyes, I will say, because obviously when you have someone like Messi, you probably did a lot of eyeballs. But like in USL, and I think particularly, I always like to compare USL with like minor league baseball. Mm-hmm. You kind of know what level you're going into. But you're not as quite popular as those higher above, or even like Division 2, Division 3, Division 1, 2, and 3. Sports. You know what level you're at, so you tend to be a little bit more. You know what? Why not? Like we're gonna be those people, and we're gonna have fun with this because we're not going to be the ones making billions of dollars off this. We're gonna be like, hey, let's sell some extra shirts because they look cool, and also we had a lot of fun doing it. And I think that difference in attitude is a major part into why we've noticed some of these differences and almost more care.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I completely agree.
To that. It's something that happens when what's funny is I didn't know like half of this stuff until him and I started doing the show for 5 years. And then you start seeing it, you start talking to people, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Kind of clicks, right?
Just makes sense.
If you see like 500 kits at some point, it's going to click in your head whenever it makes sense.
You got quite the catalog.
Yes. Yeah.
It just keeps coming too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of catalog, we do have something for you all who want to try to maybe add one of or both of tonight's kits to your closet. We were lucky enough to have ourselves, thanks again for this, a code. So if you enter down this code, all caps, SCFC, lowercase x, uppercase KITSCN26, into Salem's shop, Salem City FC's shop, you'll get 15% off. The 2026 kits ends April 1st. This is a cool thing because we want to support you and you want to be able to use us to help you. And this is a great way for us to be able to do something like that and to give people the opportunity to wear a doodle kit and maybe get some second eyes while they're walking down the street.
Mm-hmm. We're so excited for those of you that are going to want the kits. Tag us, take a picture and tag us. We want to see you wearing the kits wherever you are. That's my favorite part of this, is just seeing people I'd never expect buying kits. We're shipping kits to Minnesota and all over the place, and it's cool to think of all over the country people are wearing kits and representing our club, and it warms my heart.
Yeah,
I love that. That's
like,
always
honestly, even if you went simple, just like your badge is such a nice sleek design too.
Thank you. It took a lot of time.
I guess while you're in that shop, check out all of the other stuff. Literally, their shop is one of my favorite shops to just browse through. Just all the oversized shirts, the different styles and stuff like that. Very streetwear style, which I really appreciate.
That's exactly what we're going for. A lot of it hand drawn. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, Brad. Matt is the best in the business.
Yeah, see, and to your point there, Matt, Frank's there in Des Moines. So, like, who would have thought someone from Des Moines, Iowa, rocking a Winston-Salem, North Carolina kit?
Especially, don't tell the menace.
I'm sure Frank has some menace.
I'm about to say, he definitely has a menace. No, so Ozzy, if you want to, check in with this, please use this code here on the show. It will be listed in the Spotify comments down below. It was just posted into our comments here, so if you want to just copy and paste that from there, and you're more than likely to do this. There's also, Matt, I'll let you say a little something about this. There might be another way you could potentially get something.
I have heard word that there might be a giveaway going up on socials here pretty soon. So keep an eye on the KitSZN social as well as Salem City. We might collaborate on it. And then maybe you could get your hands on a free kit.
Yeah, look at that. So as he said, pay attention to our socials. Besides all the numerous kit releases coming out right now, it's legitimately, my phone keeps dying, so I keep posting stuff. But also stay in tune for a potential fun giveaway with these great folks at Salem City. Matt, it's been a great pleasure to dive into your brain, kind of spaghetti, chaos, creative, mad genius vibes here with the Doodle Kit. My favorite of the year at this point, with its authenticity and uniqueness. Before we go here, is there anything else you want to kind of talk about, plug in, or shout out before we wrap up this evening?
No, our season's gonna be starting here pretty soon. If you want to watch us play, we stream through Sports Engine Play like every other USL2 team. So keep an eye out for us, and thank you guys so much for having us or having me.
Well, you're more than welcome, because we always like to dissect a creative's mind. It's one of our favorite things to do besides rating kits, because we do a lot of that. So we like to kind of break it up a little bit and kind of dive into the methods behind the madness. So before we head out, there is one thing that I always like to do here is kit show off. So Matt, as our guest, you kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier in the episode, but what are you rocking here tonight?
So I'm wearing the Nashville. Let's see if I can get a better angle on it. The Nashville Man in Black kit.
Yes.
Cash edition. It was one of those kits you see, and like I talked about earlier, I wasn't a Nashville fan, but I knew I needed it. Luckily enough, where I work gives me an Adidas stipend, and I'm supposed to buy polos and stuff, but I'm wearing this kit.
Stipend.
Yeah, I needed to have it, and it's one of my favorite kits, and it goes with everything. It's black.
I've actually been to a few Nashville games. One of my old jobs, one of their offices was in Nashville, so I used to go to the games. I actually saw that kit on there, and I'm not a Nashville fan, but I saw that kit and I was like, I need me a blackout kit, almost like something like that. It's good taste.
With the story.
Yes.
It's so
At least
cool.
It's not like a weird wavy gold one. I'm okay with the Tina. So again, I live in St. Louis. I'm okay with the Tina Turner story. Like, I love the story and everything they put behind their kit, but like just to like sublimated waves of a dress fabric just didn't hit for me personally.
Well, what did hit Fox, obviously the kit that you're rocking here tonight, which is
good old Forest Green Rovers back in the day when we were in League Two and not in the in the National League. And this is actually the same thing you were talking about. I found out about this team. I found out about Player Layer first, and how they make their like organic jerseys. It's like bamboo and all that good stuff. And then they're like, one of our biggest teams is Forest Green Rovers. I'm like, who are they? And then I looked them up. Boom, I had this kit and the green one, and they were like on Supercell. Like it was like it was in the spring, and when Europe's done, they always throw their stuff out really cheap. And I got like both of these for like $50 total, and that was like with shipping from England. It was crazy. and I absolutely love this kit. It's just, and now I follow Forest Green Rovers. It's the same thing you're talking about. Like, I never heard of the Forest Green Rovers, but now, you know, they push really hard for, making everything as natural as possible.
The
And
world's greenest football team.
yeah, the world's
I believe
greenest
what they're
football team.
called. Yeah,
And
I actually got their green one signed by like all the
Yeah.
teams whenever they had it on my wall. So I also always appreciate some good player wear.
yeah, and then today, so again, I'm a first grade teacher, and this week is Read Across America week. So read a book, and each day is like a special Dr. Seuss theme. And today's was If I Ran a Zoo, and it was Animal Print Day. So I got to wear my animal print jersey. It was perfect. I try to find whatever reason to wear a jersey
Whenever
I can. Yeah.
See, I wear one every day, so it doesn't matter what the occasion. I'll make it match the occasion. So what I am going with is RIP, the San Diego Loyal, and their map kit here. I love the Rocket League sponsor, and their collaboration with Rocket League did actually had their card decal in the game when I played. So I always love this shirt. It's my favorite Loyal kit that they had before they had to fold. So I love rocking this one whenever I can, and the colors are just so clean.
They didn't
White
fold.
with the gray with the little bit of teal. I love it.
Yeah.
So
They didn't fold. They got murdered.
gosh. So that is. So those are the our kits that we're rocking here tonight. And as always, besides following us on our Instagram, we do also have a written version of what we do on KitSZN.ghost.io. You can follow us on there for more information, so we can blast your email with annoying stuff as well as follow us on social medias. Matt, I do appreciate it. I'm a Midwesterner through and through. I'll say 3 goodbyes before I say goodbye. So I appreciate you hopping on here tonight and talking kits with us. It's been a great pleasure. And I think that is all that we have here. That's all that we have here for tonight. Thanks as always. We'll have this on Spotify here this weekend. Thanks, everybody. Love you all and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, guys.